Hello there, everyone.
You're wasting Nerva from your hearts.
Welcome back to some more Let's Play the Void. We're wasting Nerva from our hearts. And in the last cycle, we destroyed Triumphator. The most ridiculous looking of the brothers. In my opinion. The silliest one was his giant shoes that he was trying to hide, but everyone noticed them at the end of my video, Triumphator. As he attempted to destroy another sister. He was going after Yanni, and I refused to allow any of these sisters to die. If Montgolfier is going to continue the Inquisition, he will find us ready to defeat him as well. And on that note, I suspect that we will be fighting him in this particular cycle. This might be the last cycle that we do. We might be beating the game right now, like in this cycle, if I'm allowed to fight him. Because we are practically ready for Turgor. Turgor? Attention! We are filling up all our hearts in preparation to be ready to cast a breakthrough glyph. We haven't found the heart for the breakthrough in any brother. We haven't found it in any chamber. The only place left that it could possibly be is with Montgolfier. But we suspected some time ago that he would be the one who would have it. I want to talk a bit about the Void with you guys, but I'll wait till we get over to a place where we can sit. So either back to Hull or Memory. And we'll sit down and we'll talk about it for a bit. I have some stuff written down because I wanted to organize my thoughts. Holy crap, it took me like 45 minutes to an hour to write it all down. And I want to read it off to you guys because this has been... It's been an amazing game. Not a perfect game, but an amazing one. And I've really enjoyed my time playing it. In any case, let's get ready for this cycle. The plan will be to fill Ola's fourth heart, which I think we're just 40 color away from filling. And then I want to make sure we have enough color left over in our Lympha to make up for battling Montgolfier. We have 290 silver. Well, actually, we'll need 10 more, right? We need 300 of each color over here. Because I'm assuming the breakthrough heart will give us yet another 10 to our maximum colors for our Lympha and Nerva. We're completely out of violet, though, and we don't have enough violet to fill our violet container, our Nerva. But we grew a ton of violet here yesterday with the anticipation that we would begin to grab it for this exact reason. And we will take every drop of it from here. I saw some violet saplings as well down here on the other side of the undercarriage of the bridge. That's not quite correct.
Don't fear death. There is no death in the void.
Or there is, insomuch that everything here will die or cease to be. Well, we need the amber. Yep, we can hold another 50 of it, so we'll let that drain. And we need another... Wow, almost 200 violet. We spent quite a bit. That said, I also don't want it going to waste, so we won't quite fill it at the moment. Or all our hearts with it. Let's go pluck some more up over here. Actually, do we have any other colors that were gold? Okay. We can take another 25. We'll feed Ola some more gold, and then go over to Twist? Where I think we have some more gold there. I suppose we can also put some azure in us, now that I'm looking at this, to help us move around. But we'll take it out of us when we get back to the Void. We're really now just waiting for... Oh, for Montgolfier. I don't think Montgolfier has a chamber. Where's my map again? I have him listed as Iris Garden, but I think that was actually Trumpeter. So maybe he's Ellie's guardian. We'll take a peek.
I will bring you. I'll be your guiding light.
I thought he did have a chamber. Okay, so let's look at this again. We've grown a bunch of different colored trees all over the place to make up for the color we've been using as well. I think you'll be okay. So we'll spend some azure to move us about a bit. No. If that's Montgolfier's chamber, I can't highlight it yet. Maybe he had a chamber, but now he doesn't because we're not allowed to fight him. That could be what's happening here. Okay, let's go back up to Ola. Let's go back up to Ola. Which is where Montgolfier is going as well. And let's say hello to her. This would be rather thematic if we fill her fourth heart and then Montgolfier arrives right here to talk to us and potentially challenge us. We have 291 crimson, 291 silver now. How do we have more than 290? Well, Ola, it's time to gift you your fourth heart. She needs just a little more. Oh, but there's no reason why we should not prepare for this. I would hate, first of all, for us to spend only a tiny bit more color, only to discover that we have done damage to her realm, and we'll have a more difficult time acquiring any color from memory. Alright, Ola, here you go.
I fell in love with you the moment I first saw you. At first I wasn't ready, but now I see that I can't go on without you. But what's done can't be undone. If people like you live there, I think maybe everything should be left as it is. And if I don't ascend, then Godsend will return too. She'll wake up and return to her limit. For her, this whole place is a nightmare. I guess that's how it is. I don't want to become the reason for your suffering, or hers. You're both dear to me.
She's silent, like you. She's concentrating, that's why. Don't worry. She'll have a lot to say up there on the surface. She's ready to give birth to the new life. But you're not ready. You must fill yourself with me to the brim to bursting.
All right, then. We need the breakthrough heart as well. We can't fill ourselves to bursting until we have it. We'll be back, Ola. So, we don't need to waste the gold that we have. Well, we need a little bit of gold to make up for what we just gave her. And we need even more to... Actually, now that I look at it, right, to fill that Nerva. I guess we can leave the leftover gold in us and let that begin seeping through and filling us. And that will be all the amber we'll need. We might end up having to let color drain into the void, as we simply will have to exist, even if all our hearts are filled. But we'll try to get by without doing that. We should have enough violet and gold to slowly fill us, if that is what will be required. Okay, so I suspect Montgolfier's going back to memory. Let's beat him there, and we'll talk for a bit, viewer. We have too much color here to let Montgolfier just take it. And we had trapped this earlier, which scared him away. So we'll have to trap it again. There's still nothing here, hazard-wise. Okay, so if we're going to trap this place, and I am going to do that, then the only color we'll need here is silver in us. By here I mean in us. So that we don't poison this realm too badly. And I guess we'll fill it with crimson, since we have so much of that at the moment. But we'll do that after we talk, viewer, because I want to talk with you guys for a bit. Let's see. Is there only one bench here? There was two, I think, over in Hull. Oh, there's a firefly still here. Looks like there's just one bench. And this tree has only a tiny bit of silver in it. Oh, there's a wisp here too, huh? We can't take that color, though. If I'm going to grow a tree also, let's put a little more violet in us. And as for the color, if I grow something here, it should not be violet or gold. We'll grow another silver tree. And then we can leave the 100 silver we have in us in preparation to refill it, what we just spent. Okay. Alright, guys. Let's talk for a bit, shall we? Not quite as pretty as I think Hull is. I like the dark atmosphere of the graveyard, but it'll still do. Look at that. We even get a nice view of the hanging doll. Oh, it's a little firefly coming up to greet us. Hello, Mr. Firefly. Oh, two of them. Oh, there you go. And they're running away. So your friend. Alright, guys. Let's talk about the void for a bit here. Let me make sure I'm recording. Okay, I am as well. I'm not muted. Good. Well, I can say that the idea of acquiring and managing color and how it was done is pretty damn unique. Spending some to grow some and having to convert it requires like a lot of forethought and rewards planning ahead. And that you're on a time limit for the game also adds to the spiciness of this experience, since you'll feel the increasing amounts of pressure in trying to get these things done within a certain limit. And on that note, the quests like the brothers give to you in this game, defeating the large parasites, for example, within a certain turn limit, or you face the wrath of, like, Warden if you don't defeat the pangolin, or if you have to face down Whaler if you don't tear out Nameless's first heart. I really like these ideas. You need to move around to solve the puzzles. Like, you have to go back to Nameless and rip out her heart. You need to figure out how you're fighting the pangolin and do it successfully within a time limit, which means trying to figure out how you can get the color you need to get these things done. I really like this. I really like all this management. And that there's so many things as well which use color. Like, it's the one resource you have in this game. And yet you also need very particular color. Like, it's all used for the same things in the end. But yet, it's also put to different uses depending upon the color. And even the sister that you're choosing to potentially ascend matters as well, since you'll need more of that color to feed her. This also means you need to pay attention to the gardens that you're growing, because as the realm dies, they die, as we saw what happened to Nameless, right? It's pretty interesting. I really like all of this. I don't see how you're going to be able to do it your first time through. You might not remember me mentioning it, but this is like... I mean, I never made it this far in the game. I think it was up to cycle maybe 13 or 14 or so. But I had replayed the first few cycles, the first like 8 or 10 cycles. I played the first 6 cycles about 8 times, and I made it to cycle 10 twice. One time fresh, and then I got a good feeling that I could probably record the game. And then I recorded originally this game up to cycle 14 or 13, but then scrapped it, because I didn't like how some of the audio had been coming out, and I misspoke about some of the game mechanics at the time. So this is my first time through all the way to this point with you guys. But I'm going on a big tangent here. Like, the various glyphs use color in, feeding the sisters, fighting but slashing her glyphs, growing it in trees, gathering it from mines, traveling around the world. Everything needs color, including saving it to benefit from the passive bonuses it grants you when you're slotted into your hearts. It's wonderful. I love it. I love it. This game has a very ethereal feel to it, too. The void, the realms we're in, like, look at the trees here. The imagery, it feels so alien compared to other games that I've played where I'm walking around gathering resources, like, say, Don't Starve. Like, that's a different world, but this one feels a great deal more weird, odd, strange. Which it's supposed to, and I really like it. You're not supposed to feel this is your world. The creatures feel alien, from the massive Yithians to the small roaring hoppers, and these chambers feel like half-completed thoughts, or like slices of a dream to me. I really enjoyed seeing all of these places, especially for the first time, and I wish some of these weren't copies of others, like how Bridge and Moorage are the same, or how Twist and Fog are the same, for example, or very, very similar to each other. I wish there was more... I wish they were all very unique and different. Like how with the place we fought the worm, or pangolin, or Triton's chambers were. The game's story is intriguing, mysterious, and vague, and all these things make me want to learn more about the world I'm in and how it impacts out the others living here too. But the story is also a bit all over the place, and the rules and laws that it follows or tries to hint at don't seem to really apply sometimes. Or the actors in it aren't following the script very well. The brothers mentioned that they can't see, but yet they can see color. The sisters and brothers give you conflicting information. Sometimes even they contradict, like, what they said just a sentence earlier. And sometimes they're revealing information about the game's mechanics that don't exist, or that don't actually work the way that they're advertised. Big Slimy Blob has been telling us some of the original game's story and lore, and it's a true shame that a lot of that was sliced out of it for this version of the translation. He mentioned that in the original Russian, the brothers have a good amount more backstory, and more information about the sisters is revealed, and they say different things too. But it was then translated to German, which was then translated to... and it was altered, and then translated to English, and something about the localization didn't add up. 1 second. Sorry, I'm gonna take the firefly so they don't make sounds as I'm talking. Sorry, firefly, but you were cute at first, but now you're getting annoying. Like, the brothers are really deep in their attitudes and their brotherhood, for example, and there's more to them than just being rather big, scary-looking monsters. And I wish they had kept that sort of thing. I like the idea of them actually having a good amount of depth to them. I really enjoy their religious attitude towards the void, since it's all they know. It's how they've learned to protect it, is by following their rules and laws so it doesn't vanish on them. That they're also used to the nightmare where they come from, and that this is a little less bad than that, even though it's bad for most of other people who live here, but it's not as bad. I can see why they would want to preserve it. The glyphs that we use, the glyphs that we have, run the complete, what's the word I'm looking for, gamut of being really useful to being completely worthless. Things like Torch are really, really bad. I cast it once or twice just because I felt guilty not casting it, but there's no reason, for example, to cast that ever. It's really just a free heart for you to put more color in. Some things don't do as advertised, and some others seem really dangerous to use at all. Like, let's say, Hysteric. You have to be really close to the things when you're casting that, and that doesn't seem like that's really beneficial to you. 1 second. Firefly, if you come back over here, I'm going to get you. Okay, good. Wasp, you don't dot the wasp with color. It literally is just created and immediately goes after the first closest thing it can see, assuming it can see anything. There's a few other things of this sort with the glyphs, and in the end, well, aside from a handful of uses for these, now that I've fought all the brothers except Montgolfier, I would rather slash the brothers in every single instance, since I can be guaranteed I'm putting the correct color into the brother that he's weak to, as opposed to like using a hawk and praying I can get to hit the brother while he's weak to the glyph. Even if the glyphs do more damage, I don't think it's, at least not with the mod I have installed, I don't think it was worth trying to use the glyphs. I should have just used slashes. The brother fights, some of them were really great. I really like Tyrant's battle, now that I look back at it, because he was one of the toughest brothers we had to fight, was the first one we fought. Tyrant Ironclad. The others were a bit easy, all things considered. Whaler was tough, but once I realized Magnet's a really good glyph, and there's an example of a good glyph to use, was a really good glyph to use against him, to drag all those heads away from him, so he couldn't actually do anything about it. But I wish they were all somewhat more tricky. Patriarch was rather... Actually, Patriarch was good, now that I look back at it. I liked, because you want to keep distance from him, but if you're too far away, he throws those buzzsaws at you, which then means you need to time using shell to protect yourself from him. I thought that was pretty good. I thought that was fairly good. So, you know, I have written down here that I thought most of the brothers were rather easy. And while probably many of them were, I think it helped that I did have the glyphs I had. Yeah, I'm going to walk back what I was going to say. On that note, although I really like the idea of the Worm, Pangolin, and Triton battles, because you can't really harm them too effectively yourself. But the web is it was rather boring, just to wait around, especially because in like the pangolin fight, you can get on that one branch and make yourself completely safe from any of the hoppers. I feel like we discovered a really amazing secret right there by doing that, which trivialized that battle, since we didn't have to run around and or potentially kill some of the hoppers, which would... Don't do it. Don't you do it.
I will give you the power to control time.
So, I like the idea of the boss battles. They all felt rather unique. I love the idea of why you're fighting these things. I just felt the execution in some of them could have been a little better. I love how the sisters are presented. It's my belief that they represent various ideas or dreams that you, the spark of inspiration or imagination, are bringing to life by giving them color, as that represents your time or energy, the thought and effort that you are putting towards bringing those things into realization. As you give them color, they reveal more themselves to you, to reveal themselves as the beautiful ideas that you are trying to make them be, as it were. So you get to see them in their most beautiful form, without anything covering them up, as it were, when they're fully realized. They entice you to think of them, and thus to feed them color in this way. As they are also very naked, they're also very vulnerable. And this makes me think of trying to help them more. Not for any gain, but like to protect them. And they likely chose to do this on purpose. Like the sisters, like the designers designed them this way artistically for that reason. And that they also can't force you to give them a single drop of color. They're not powerful in that regard. They don't force you to do anything. They can't force you to do anything. But you'll want to do it as their caretaker. That the brothers are the opposite of this is also very well done. They're not attractive at all, but instead they represent, I feel like, the ugliness of harsh, unhelpful criticisms, or negative thoughts, or harsh words, just ugly, unpleasant... I don't know another way to describe it. Thoughts directed at the ideas that the sisters represent or embody. They remind the sisters that they will never ascend, and that their wish is futile, that it's heresy, and that the void, better that the void, that nothing that they will be a part of exists in perpetuality, than any one of them destroys this awful depression and escape. Yeah. So the brothers represent like depression or the fearfulness of an idea coming into reality and being criticized, or your obsessive negative thoughts about these and how it could fail. They're also awesome, and I think if this game had been made today, they would be much more Cenobite in looks and acts than what they are currently. Like when Warden captures you, right? Like when he gets you into that cage and like climbs down and hisses at you. Oh, that was great. Oh, I love that. Oh, wow. I made sure to make that the thumbnail for that video. That was fantastic. The gameplay itself here, it's repetitive. I do find the running around and matching color fun, but I can see that other people might be a bit bored of it. But I really like planning where to put the drops, when and where to use them, and sometimes having to do things in a pinch if things go awry. I really like this, but I also love spreadsheets and magic resources, and hoarding them like a dragon. I find that fun. You should have seen my Ogre Battle 64 spreadsheets, where I was trying to manage what everyone was, what their alignments were, and who was going on where, and where they would be positioned, and so on. Oh, it was wonderful. I absolutely love that crap. But I don't think as many people probably do find it as fun as I do. So in a way, this game is lucky for a certain group of people like me. In the same way that there's a game I don't like, but other people really like it. Actually, this is the case for many games. Oxygen not included. it's very cold and mechanical to me, that game. But for others, it's fun designing a very efficient factory with all the automation that occurs there. So I can see why that game is attractive, and I like watching people play it, but I don't like playing it at all. I find the way that color is assigned and removed from hearts a bit tedious, and there's some movement problems that exist in this game. Sometimes you get stuck on a small route and the game flings you a million miles into the air, which is a bit silly. And there isn't as much feedback as I would like for how you're doing with some things sometimes. And sometimes the game doesn't explain things very well, like what silver does, for example. How you can move about the void without actually spending color in the early parts of the game is, I feel, very important, as you would probably really struggle with color in the very early portions of the game. It might have taken us an extra cycle or two to get out of Nameless's chambers, for example, if I didn't know I could spend no color to move about through those chambers. Hunting down the brothers, like Tyrant, would also have been really annoying if I had discovered that, like, we couldn't fight him in a chamber. We couldn't go to his chamber and challenge him. He doesn't have a chamber. So the only way you can fight him is when he would decide to attack a sister, as what's happening now in the Inquisition, or if doing what we did, which was leaving a chamber accessible to him, so when he showed up to drain it of color, we could then challenge him right there. Some of the rules here are also a bit odd. Like, I would have preferred if all the brothers just weren't able to immediately challenge me to a fight and fight me right then and there. I feel like they should have to find and chase me, like what Pitt did early on. Or like how when Manton first shows up, after he goes to his chamber, he flashes, and then he travels to you. I don't like that the game pauses time for that, but maybe he's like very powerful so he can get away with it. But then Whaler just reaches out to you and talks to you, so it's a bit weird. I feel like the rules are applied a bit haphazardly. I don't like that. I wish they could have somehow... I don't know the word I'm looking for. Solidified how you interact with all of these things in some way, so that they're not... Everyone follows the same rules, as opposed to them not being applied the same way to different folks at different times. But make no mistake, I really have enjoyed this game. I can tell you that I'm itching to finish this Let's Play now, because I'm immediately going to play through it again, not on screen. But I'm going to uninstall the medium difficulty mod, reinstall the game, and I'm going to choose Ava, the best sister, as my sister. And I'll see if I can get through the game again without having altered the difficulty at all. And I could absolutely recommend this game to others like me who love resources, who love the ideas of a developer trying new things, and the really uniqueness of this setting. I can't give the game a score without actually giving it a proper review instead of this brief summary. But I really like this. I really like the time I've spent on the game, and I'm incredibly glad to have recorded it. I hope I've done the game justice, and I hope you guys have liked watching me play. And with all that said, let's now see what we can do about Montgolfier. Maybe I should put a break here, because I really liked how that came out. You're a silver wisp. I'll take you. It's 75 color to fill this, but we have plenty of color to make up for it. It's too much color to just let Montgolfier take this. Oh, come on, game. Really? There we go. We gotta do this again. Remember that damages her realm even more, and we've spent a lot of time in memory, so I am a little nervous that this place might have a Yithian in it when we come back here tomorrow. That will make up for what we just spent. There's 250 Azure there, so we're looking really good on the color front.
I am the color of your power and fame.
And now we just wait, everyone. Let me double check. No. There is no chamber that houses Montgolfier.
You're wasting Nerva from your hearts.
What color do we have filled up completely? Silver. Silver's kind of important, so we'll take the leftover silver out. That we still hear Nameless is interesting for me. So I think this is an instance where it's the game. That's the warning the game gives you, and they didn't record any other sister's voice for that. Wow, yeah. We're going to end up having to do nothing but let color go into the void at this rate. So let's take out the emerald and just let the violet slowly sift through us now. Let's see if we can fight Montgolfier. No. No, this is taking us right into memory again. Okay, nope. So we can't challenge him. We're not allowed to fight him. We have to wait until he decides to challenge us. Or maybe I could have let him take that color. But there's no way I'm letting him drain that color only to discover that we still can't fight him, for example. Let's go after him. Mostly because it's fun to do. Maybe if he runs into another chamber, then we can fight him. Okay, we are almost out of color. It's gonna have to be gold. We could take more of the gold that we grew here in Bridge. I guess we'll need it no matter what. Did we trap Bridge? We did. We can hear it. I thought I heard something else briefly, like a hopper, but I don't see anything here.
I am the color of your power and fame. Don't fear death. There is no death in the void.
We grew another violet tree here. Good for me. Planning way ahead.
Don't fear death.
And there's lots of gold saplings here, too. And we have a crimson wisp. Alright, hold on. Let's see. We have so much color that we can just let a good amount... We can let it go into the void, I suppose. Nothing happened today, by the way. He didn't challenge us. He didn't go to Ola. He's not attacking his sister. So I thought this would be over today, which is why I just did that 30-minute talk with you guys. And apparently I'm going to be wrong. I do not need... Oh, we can hold it. We should take it. We grew it here for a reason. Maybe Montgolfier will be weak against Violet, and so we'll be glad to have all of this ready to make up for the fight. Take a little more silver. That's a trap. That'll kick us out of this area. Take even more violet. Let that tree go into withering. And that is a gold tree. Do we need it? Yes, because you need another 100 gold. Guess we should take this gold out of this heart, put it in our donor heart, and take all of this too.
No regrets. No regrets.
Wow, 178. Holy crap. Has it been 2 days since we were here? I thought we grew these I think we grew these in the last cycle. Interesting that they refer to these as cycles, too, to me. Not days. Which would make sense to me. When I work on a project, like, say, my Hero's Quest rule alterations,
I am the color of your power.
or when I was working on modding certain games, it would go in, it would come and go. I wouldn't always be working on it. It would take months of breaks in between, and then come back and work on it some more. So this is probably done the same way. Like, this is why I keep thinking this is about inspiration or imagination, because quite some time could elapse between a cycle of when I work on a project and when I work on something different. Okay, Tim. Where to next? I'm not sure. Maybe we go up to Yanni's next. We keep chasing Montgolfier? Yep, who's running up there?
You're wasting Nerva from your heart.
Can't be helped, Nameless. Alright, guys. And that will do it for this cycle.
You're wasting Nerva from your heart.
Azure, crimson, violet.
And I will see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.